Hi, it's Jay Raven, dark fantasy author specialising in historical horrors. Sorry if I'm a bit breathless. One of my computers has just died on me and I've had to very quickly switch to the other one. Hey, but isn't the drama fun? Now, last week, I announced that I was going to try something incredibly ambitious. I was going to try and write the sequel to Crimson Siege, my vampire thriller, in 40 days, basically from last Thursday through till Christmas Eve. Well, ask me how it's going, and I will tell you not particularly well. If I was joking, I could say that in a big task, they tell you that how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Well, this elephant's proving to be quite chewy, and it's taking longer to swallow than I thought. Basically, life has intervened, and boy, this week has life intervened. I've only got to be able to do half the writing sessions I was expecting to do. I'll give you an example of a few of the things that have happened. Our shower sprang a leak, so I had to fix that. I had the exterminator out to take care of a wasp's nest in our chimney, and also moles that are destroying our front lawn. And my wife's car actually just gave up the ghost one night as she was about to drive home from work, so I had to drop everything and go out and rescue her and sit there waiting for the breakdown people to come. And that was a whole evening just gone, and that was 2 writing sessions just evaporated there and then. But something very peculiar happened. My phone just broke itself. I've never seen anything like it before. And if I can just see if I can just get it to come up to the screen cracked, and then this strange sort of UFO-shaped ink blot appeared under the screen, obliterating just about anything at all, making it almost impossible to read. So I've spent some time this week chasing around trying to get a replacement phone. So as you can see, it's not been the easiest of weeks. Now, that is all true. That has certainly been very disruptive. But I think the real true reason why I've only managed to do, say, about 8,000 words in about 6 days is that I've discovered that I can't turn off my perfectionist traits. I promised myself I would just knock out the first draft. I wouldn't care. I'd come back, I'd correct everything, do a second go, third go, but I can't stop myself honing and polishing as I go. Now, this means that every time I've read something, it's okay, it's readable, it's not too bad, but it's not up to the standard of what I normally do. And I just don't want to end up writing stuff that doesn't make me feel happy. So, slight change of plan. In the next 40 days, or whatever's left of 40 days, I will try to write as much of the sequel as I can, but concentrating on quality words rather than the quantity. So, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. Now, some of you might have noticed that today I posted a notification for this Facebook Live showing snow that was falling outside our house. My only hope is that it kills the moles. And it made me think about when I used to do stories for magazines, short stories for magazines. And because they worked 6 months in advance, you often found yourself sitting on a boiling hot day trying to write Christmas stories. And I gave myself a similar problem when I was writing Crimson Siege, which was I wanted it to have snow, lots of snow. The idea being that the snow was almost an extra character in the book. It was affecting all the action taking place. It gave a backdrop to the drama happening in this small town where the vampires were putting the jailhouse under siege. And I really struggled for a while, so I waited until it was winter to write the majority of these scenes. What I'd like to do now, sorry, it's all a bit rushed, running around, trying to cope with the technology, is to read you a scene from Crimson Siege, a very short scene, where I've used snow as a way of dramatizing the entrance of one of the main characters, the vampire queen and her troops. So I'll just read a bit of that for you if you indulge me. The glistening snow swooped and gyrated, the cruel strengthening wind whipping the sparkling flakes into a dense dancing curtain. Peering through the white blanket, Anton couldn't see farther than 20 yards, but could hear hooves thudding across the wooden bridge, wheels too, a carriage, its axles squeaking rhythmically. The inhabitants of Brezhny had fled, running for whatever shelter they could. Centuries of fear, terror so ingrained it passed from generation to generation, had sent them running headlong from the impending threat. Anton knew it was futile. There was nowhere safe, not even the ramshackle church on the hill. Gripping the crossbow tightly, he cautioned himself that it was lunacy to think that he could prevail. No matter how much the bulk of the weapon and the evil solidity of the metal-tipped bolt gave the illusion of protection. For an instant, he remembered how it felt to let fly the deadly U-shaft, cleaving clean through its yielding target, as if the weapon was alive, possessed, vengeful. Soon he knew he'd feel that terrifying exhilaration again. Glancing sharply to his left, he studied his only companion on the slick, wet jailhouse steps. Milosh's eyes glinted with excitement. Just like the old times, eh? The hunter remarked, their enmity temporarily put to one side. Yeah, except we had a large troop of experienced soldiers with us, Anton remembered. The odds infinitely more favourable, and even so, we lost. The shroud-like curtain parted, snapping him out of his thoughts. Flickers of colour appeared, shapes bursting through the milky flurry. He heard Milosh gasp, Christ! Before them were 5, no 6 outriders, towering, hooded, gaunt-faced warriors on mighty stallions. The horses like nightmarish griffins, sapphire eyes glowing, steam billowing from their nostrils. The riders were dressed in the majestic livery of crimson and purple, each decked out in a long, flowing cloak. Without breaking pace, the pale riders parted to take up position in a semicircle, silent, staring disdainfully through the defenders. How many? Anton whispered. Your gun. How many can you hit? Milosh replied simply, not enough. With a portentous grace, the carriage finally arrived, gliding to a halt in the middle of the group. The majestic vehicle was lavishly carved, its ebony coachwork perfect in every detail, from its gilded wheels and shining brass handles to its team of 6 white horses, magnificently poised, each adorned with a black feathered plume. But it was the carriage door and its coat of arms, emblazoned in silver and gold, that held Anton's focus. To the uninitiated, it could appear simply another heraldic montage, shields, badges, mythological beasts, a gaudy sign of the wealth and self-regard of the family who deemed themselves aristocratic enough to warrant such an ostentatious show of pride. To him, it meant much more. This crest and its motto, "None shall defy us," had haunted his troubled dreams for years. The Majeski, the most sadistic of all the predator clans. Few cast eyes on this coat of arms and lived to tell of it. The presence of the coach could only mean one thing. She was here in person. Christina Majeski, the supreme Nosferatu in Europe. She had come to personally settle the score. As always, a bad reading, but I hope you got the gist of it. This is basically all I'd like to say for this week. I'll give you an update on how I'm limping through trying to write the sequel next week. And just a couple of points. If you like these Facebook Lives and seeing me in terrible trouble and melting down, please like in the comments and share so that other people can see them. And all that remains for me to say is thank you for watching. And as I always say, it'll be here next week, same time, same day, same channel. Thanks for watching. Bye now.